Hello, it's evening in my shop right now. I've just finished all my regular work for the day and I'm ready to start working on a War Scythe. So I'd like to show you guys what that is right here. So as you can see, we're sitting right at about 31 inches overall with about 24 inches for the blade. I'm going to go ahead and calculate how I'm going to move all this material and everything, and we'll get started in a second. So here's the block I'm working with. I went ahead and I marked off 1.5 inches. Now in order to do that better, to see that better when I'm forging, because I have to divide this material initially. That's the first thing I have to do. I'm going to mark it with the center punch. I'm using a square center punch. It's much easier to see once it heats up than a round one. It creates little cracks around, and that makes it far easier to see. Once I'm happy with the location, I'm going to go over it twice. Much deeper. So you can see I divide that material. That looks pretty good. That material is going to be a socket, but I'm not going to forge that until the very end. The next step is to draw out the blade. So I have to be very careful here not to screw it up. It has to be a very long and gentle taper. We're taking this out to 2 feet, and it has to come down to a point. This next step I'm going to do using my little giant power hammer. I'm going to use the little giant because I have drawing guides on it, which make pulling out the taper much easier. I'm just about where I need to be here with my length. The first thing I'm going to do is put a pre-bend in here, because as I pull out the blade one way, what it's going to want to do is pull back the other way on the other side. So that's the first thing. This isn't going to be too easy because it's so wide compared to how it is thick, but we should be able to make it work. At this moment, the blade is too long to put in my forge. What I'm going to do is rearrange the fire bricks right there and create an opening so I can put this scythe to the side of the forge, or right in the front of the door. Here's where we're sitting right now. I have the blade forged out. I have the edge forged out. Scythes, they're extremely thin, and so is this one. The way they get their strength is if you get a cross section, it looks something like this. There's a bit of a L, there's a spine there, which creates an L cross section. That's for a normal scythe. What I'm doing, it's a War Scythe. I'm thinking I'll make like a T back, sort of like a lot of Turkish sabers were. This will provide the stiffness, and I'm pretty sure that this will be a lot stiffer than just a simple L. The way I'll do this is I'll do it with a torch in a vise. As I was forging this ridge here, I took the scythe out of the vise and I noticed this crack here, right where I was forging. Now that's really unfortunate. This is 16 inches up. So as to why this crack actually happened, I believe it's because it was being held in the vise, and this is curved, and it was being held in 2 points here. It wasn't really being gripped in the center because that was less thick than the 2 points here. And what happened was, because I was hammering right in the center, the material was being forced down, but it had nowhere to go because it was being held up. And a crack started right here. This blade is very thin. The problem with the very thin blade is that obviously it can bend. Now this is 4140, not even hardened, but you can see here that it has a fair amount of spring to it. This is in the section right now that you could see there wasn't much bend put in there, if any. It has a fair amount of spring to it as is, and this is in the thin part. Now the part where I forged the spine, it's extremely stiff. And that's very interesting. This blade is very light. I think this will be a promising little short sword. So it's the morning after right now, and I have to admit, I'm still heartbroken over this. I've been thinking about what to do with it. Now I still want to make a proper full-sized War Scythe, but I don't think this is unsalvageable as far as a project. It has a 16-inch blade currently, and it's actually extremely stiff, but my idea is to forge out this steel part into a socket, make a round socket as a handle, and call this something like the Grim Reaper's short sword. So guys, let me know what you think, if I should turn this into a short sword or if I should make another War Scythe right away. Thank you.